The Rams won. That's all that matters.
It's hot out there, but let's blow them off the line of scrimmage. Headline, Los Angeles.
Live from the RamCave, I'm Joe Terosian, and this is RamView, the September 8th, 2025 edition, brought to you by Kistler Law Firm. Injured in an auto accident? Need help? Got questions? Call Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. That's Kistler Law at 661-206-6990. And check out KistlerLawFirm.com. That's one word, KistlerLawFirm.com. Kistler Law, they've been fighting for you since 92. And by Temple City Auto Repair. Having some auto issues, get yourself some John and Henry at TempleCityAutoRepair.com. Thanks, guys, for waiting with me. Thank you guys for clicking on. Everyone is free to click off when the game starts. My intention was to come on at 4 o'clock on Monday, and then I did the Rams or the RamView wrap-up this morning at 6 a.m., and I said 5 o'clock. So from now on, we're going to do Mondays at 4 because I don't want to try to compete with the Monday Night Football game. But for those guys that are here, I do appreciate you being here. Hey, I predicted a 2-possession victory, and I was about to get it until Colby Parkinson coughed up that ball, which I'm sure endeared him to a lot of you folks. That was 21-9 is comparable to 24-7. I don't think 24-7's a blowout. I did expect the Rams to run the ball a little bit better. There were a few things there that if a couple things happened differently, but give credit to the Texans. They played hard. Rams had more bullets in the gun, so to speak. They had more weaponry, and they won. And here's what I talked about this morning. We go deeper about it. Matthew Stafford's back looked fine, right? Matthew Stafford's back looked just fine. The rollouts, the throws from both sides, the celebration at the end. You know, you could tell this guy was getting knocked down. It wasn't a clean pocket, and so yeah, he did a great job. And the ultimate one, and this kind of bleeds over to the offensive line a little bit, is that you knew Matthew Stafford's back was just fine when they tried to run a quarterback sneak with him late in the first half on 3rd and half a yard from the goal line, and they didn't get anywhere. So we'll build on that as we go to the offensive line. Let me say hi to you guys. USA Expat live from the Victory Rams Cave. Yes, much better. I was not in any concern at all yesterday until the final drive. There's just something about the bad mojo, the bad karma. You know, Parkinson's fumble just had that kind of a feel to it, right? He just knew it gave them some momentum, and that's when Nick Chubb started breaking off some of those runs. For the most part, yeah, you look at the stats, and it doesn't look like they stopped the run, but for the most part, they stopped the run. But that last drive for a moment there was very troublesome. Manuel Vasquez, Mondays are always good when the Rams win. Absolutely. USA Expat, Witherspoon and Forbes with some Durant sprinkled in. Great secondary. Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit about Darius Williams. I thought that was interesting that he dressed but didn't get a snap. Isn't it amazing you can be deep enough in the cornerback room that Darius Williams doesn't have to play? That's pretty impressive. Manny Vasquez agrees with USA Expat. USA Expat, Fisk's athleticism on the fumble recovery, very impressive. You know, I got a text from my brother on that very same thing. I didn't think anything of it and such, but then I saw some of the angles of it. It was. I was still in awe of Landman's punch out, you know. Yeah, Steve Ramirez, I am going to talk about Tutu making $10 million a catch. Poor guy. USA Expat, Parkinson hurt his shoulder. We'll see if he's out for Tennessee. Yeah, we're going to talk about some injuries going forward around the NFC West. USA Expat Peanut Punch was awesome. Is that what they're calling it? Is that the official name, Peanut Punch? But had to rewatch his sideline celebration over and over. Oh, it was a great moment. Parkinson, ESG, good to have you, man. Parkinson should take Nate out for dinner. I agree. You can imagine how nervous that guy was. I mean, hey, coming even from this little gathering here, let alone all of Rams media, no one was impressed with Colby Parkinson last year. And then to have him possibly cost them a game, man, he might have gotten kiffined before leaving the stadium. And and he lives in LA. Rams defense picking up where they left off last year, last 6 games with 12 regular starters. They're giving up something like 12 points a game. You know, man, I posted that late last night, I think, and I shared that at 6 a.m. And then as I was driving around town and doing my work today, I'm hearing other people quote almost the same stuff we posted here. And I got a little, my nose bent out of joint a little bit. Anyway, I digress. Here we go. I was surprised the Rams didn't run the ball better against the Texans. You keep hearing about, I wasn't overly impressed with their defense going in. Their secondary was solid, okay? We knew that, and they had those edge guys. But up the middle, I expected just a little more ground and pound between the gaps. And you could see where they got it, then you can see where they didn't get it. Here's the other interesting thing. Besides Stafford righting all wrongs, which he did, Alaric Jackson and Rob Havenstein, the two people everyone was most concerned about, played the entire game. They took every snap. Alaric Jackson diagnosed with blood clots in June, early June, late May, and everyone ready for the sky to fall. Alaric Jackson comes in without any preseason, with what, a week and a half of a helmet and pads, comes in and does a commendable job, right? A commendable job. Not a great job, but a commendable job. Rob Havenstein plays the entire game, and they talked about his offseason surgeries on his shoulders. And then what can you say? Steve Avalon, Kevin Dotson. Avalon's getting a little concerned because he went out week 1 last year and was gone for half the season, but he came back at the end of the game, and that had to be real encouraging. Kevin Dotson leaving late. Last I saw, unless you guys know something, I heard it wasn't too serious, but I haven't heard any clear updates on Kevin Dotson. And then the other side of that is Bo Limmer. Bo Limmer, the starting center for 2024, essentially that's what he was, comes in when Avalon goes out at left guard and then slides over to right guard. That guy's going to make himself some paychecks because he's demonstrated he can play any spot on the interior. So good for Bo Limmer and good for the Rams having him. I still want Dotson and Avila healthy, but yeah, good for the Rams having Bo Limmer, which brings me back to Coleman Shelton. Coleman Shelton is still Coleman Shelton. He is. Now, maybe he calls out the signals, the protections, and that gives the Rams peace of mind in Stafford's case. But did you see the sneak? He was stood straight up on the sneak, and Stafford got no traction because Coleman Shelton is just Coleman Shelton. He's okay. He's not great. And this is exactly what I was talking about back in the spring when they signed him. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying I wanted Bo Limmer in there because I want to see how far or how high Bo Limmer's ceiling is. And I've seen it with Shelton. He's comfort food. He's the Troy Reader in the interior line room. He's the John Johnson in the safety room. He's he's that guy that just makes the defensive or the coaches feel comfortable that they're on the roster. And I'm not anti-Shelton. I just want to see somebody else in there. I think he's the weak link. He couldn't get a push. Hey man, he wasn't going against Jalen Carter. I don't care what anyone says about that Texans interior defense. It's not the 85 Bears, and it's not Tony Siragusa for the 2000 Ravens. It's not even Russell Maryland with the Cowboys in the early 90s. It's, come on, dude, get a push. And you see him, he goes straight up, and Stafford has no place to go. And so I do think that's an area of concern, and I'll get to areas of concern. But looking at the snap counts, Jackson, Havenstein, and Shelton played all the snaps. Bo Limmer filled the gaps. Avila came back. That's nice. That's really nice. And so the Rams are in good shape along that offensive line, unless there's an injury there that pops in that we don't know about. All right, let's see. You guys are coming in hot. Kittle, Steve Ramirez, 3 to 5 weeks. Yes, we'll talk about that. And Brock Purdy's banged up, and I heard a question about Brock Purdy playing next week. And that's against the Saints. I think they're playing the Saints next week. And then they play the Cardinals. So did you have to be Nostradamus to forecast this for the 49ers? I don't think you had to. Let's see here. USA Expat, Houston game plan, headhunt on defense, hold pass rushers, hold on. Okay, yeah, hold rushers on and off. I agree with you. I do. Devontae didn't light it up. This is ESG. Didn't light it up, but he made some big time catches, and he was going against their number one corner. He was going against Stingley, and yet he did make the big time catches, and that was encouraging. That was really, really encouraging. And I don't want to be a doom and gloom guy, but one of you guys are going to bring it up before I can get there. Did you see what Cooper Kupp did yesterday in Seattle? He looked like last season when he was with the Rams. No separation. I think he had a couple of catches. I don't even know if he had 10 yards total. It's a real bummer, but this dude is washed, and the Rams moved off of him. And what did they do? They brought in Davante Adams. I know that's painful. Ending is better than mending, as Huxley says, but in this case, it's absolutely true. Ending is better than mending, and Kupp had to go, and Davante Adams came in and played. Manuel Vasquez, Avalon, Dotson are listed as week to week. McVay said he would know more on Wednesday. Thank you so much. McVay, this is USA Expat, have Kyron share. Have Kyron share the rock. Yeah, he really didn't, did he? Two things. He didn't share the rock with Kyron, and he gave $10 million to Tutu to play 25 snaps. I'm trying to figure McVay out on this one. Manuel Shelton, if you won't say it, I will. Shelton is bad. Okay, Manny Vasquez, I'll take you. We know it is what it is, right? It is what it is. If there's a weak link on the offensive line, it's Shelton. And I don't know why, I don't know. The Rams were good enough to go to the second round of the playoffs with Bo Limmer. They were a rookie mistake, and I understand it was a big mistake from going to the NFC Championship game or hosting the NFC Championship game at home. I just didn't get it then, and I still struggle with it now in why they were so certain to bring him back. Tim Burns, I like it if Xavier starts getting targets over Tutu. Does McVay trust but not trust? Yeah, and Smith didn't play a lot of snaps. I think he played less than 5 snaps, and it was a heck of a play. I mean, let's give credit. Stafford's throw, the catch, and the tap along the drag along the sideline there. I'm so glad Xavier Smith is here. I just don't understand the Tutu thing, and it's not Tutu's fault. Let's not go to Tutu. Let's go to McVay. Tribe, good to have you, Tribe. It'll be shaky if Avalon and Dotson both miss the Titans game. Need at least one of them. I don't think we're going to lose. If Avalon was able to come back, I think he's, questionable is not, uncertain or doubtful or anything. We'll know on Wednesday, but I think Avalon is going to play. And if Dotson has to miss a game, I think Limmer can fill in for one game. USA Expat. Kupp was poor, but Nico Collins had no stats to talk about either. The Rams secondary, right? The Rams secondary played well. And the defense, all in all, the defense was fantastic. ESG, the media is calling San Francisco-Seattle game a defensive battle. I call it two awful teams. I kind of thought maybe the Seahawks miss Geno a little bit, right? That's what I was thinking. Receiver counts, Davante Adams, 55. He was out there most of the time, doing everything, taking some hits. Bounced back from a couple of awkward drops. That one back shoulder where he completely adjusted on, fantastic. Upgrade. Nakua, 38 catches. I still don't think this guy's going to play more than 3 more years because he is so physical. You know who he is? He kind of reminds me of? I'm thinking Hines Ward back in the day. Remember how physical Hines Ward? Now, Hines Ward had a long career. And, of course, in Hines Ward's day, you could do a lot of the stuff you can't do now. But Nakua is so physical. Whittington had 30 snaps. Good for Whittington. Looked good. Got robbed on a couple of plays there. and Atwell only 25 snaps. And that was the question coming in. It's like they gave 10 million rocks to Atwell. If I'm Atwell, sure, I'll take it, right? 1 year. This is not Atwell's fault, guys. It's McVay's responsibility to find a way to go to him. If they didn't think he can play, they'd have Cooper Kupped him, right? They'd have said, thank you very much, and he'd have signed someplace else. I bet you the Chiefs wish they had him. And he'd have signed someplace else, and we would have gotten a compensatory pick. But the Rams saw something. McVay and McSnead said, let's give him 10 rocks. And I got to wonder if Stan and Les are kind of going, okay, but why is he only playing 25 snaps, right? Well, what is this? And so something that bears watching. I'm glad Atwell's here, but let's not come back and say Atwell sucks or it's Atwell's fault, because I heard that today. No. This is on McVay. McVay is the one that wanted to keep him and give him 10 rocks, which is a lot of bread for what he would have probably gotten on the market. Higbee, Parkinson, you wouldn't even have known they were there if Parkinson didn't fumble. And Davis Allen, touchdown, but then he had the holding penalty. And who was gone? Terrence. You didn't see Terrence. And that's okay if he's a 4th-round pick, a 5th-round pick. But a 2nd-round pick, I'm thinking Sean McVay wants to see a little bit more. And notice Jarquez Hunter was inactive. Cody Schrader was brought up. And, I don't think that's meaning Hunter's going into the street. I think it just means, hey, man, I'm going against 2 high-end edge rushers, and I need a guy that can protect my quarterback. All right. Defensively, the Rams were great, right? Byron Young getting a sack, starting off this 3rd year with a sack. I'm so happy for him because he's playing for a contract, and I know it's only his 3rd year, but I got a feeling, what are they going to do, right? If Josiah Stewart can keep developing, I hate to think of Byron's Young going someplace else, but like we said, he'll be 29 by the time the 2nd contract comes around. And the Rams could be moving off of him just for cost because you're going to have to pay Jared Verse. But Byron Young is a beast. I love Byron Young. I thought he had a great game yesterday. He eats when he does it himself, but also because Jared Verse gets so much attention. But Jalen McCullough, undrafted free agent, comes in, gets a sack. Tank Davis, 5th-round pick. Was it a 5th-round pick? 6th-round pick. Comes in and gets a sack. This is testimony, man. And then you throw in Josiah Stewart's pass deflection, and it just screams depth. And when is the KBM going to finally come around and talk about the Rams roster? I'm not impressed with the Eagles roster defensively. I think after losing Milton Williams and Jalen Carter getting bounced, Jordan Davis isn't enough. And that line for Philly looks a little susceptible. And I don't know if they're as deep as everyone's saying they are, or if they're that much deeper than the Rams, or even if they are deeper than the Rams. Rams showed a lot yesterday. And then Nate Landman. Okay, yeah, we had the punch out, right? And I've seen a lot of plays. I've written 1,000 football game stories. I've never seen a linebacker, take down a ball carrier by first getting into a fighting stance, right? He's just like this, and then he makes the straight out punching it. I've never seen that before. But what an upgrade off of Roseboom. And I like Christian Roseboom. Played well over his head, above his ability last year. Got another contract, went someplace else. Good for him. But Nate Landman is a total upgrade. Spates from 1 year to this year. This is exciting. There's a lot of wheels there in that off-ball linebacker spot. And then I was happy with the safeties. Cam Curl, Quentin Lake played 63 snaps. Cam Kitchens, I think he lost a fumble. He lost an interception. I don't know. They never went back and reviewed it on the Kobe Turner late hit. Witherspoon and Fords, 51 and 50. Rams go 51-50. There you go. And Kobe Durant, 25 snaps. No Darius Williams. You read the report about McVay, and it's saying that basically the game plan only required those 3, and then he said Williams took it like a pro. Hey, I'll say this. With Witherspoon and Williams, I want to monitor their snaps, right? Because neither one of these guys are going to be able to go the distance. They're not going to be there for 18 weeks. So if we can monitor their snaps a little bit, that's great. I'm happy with that. Kobe Durant's playing for another contract. This is his last year under his rookie deal. So he's playing for another contract. And then, of course, Forbes. Forbes was out there. I know the PFF grade dinged him a little bit, but if you look at his coverage, he is what he is, and he's only going to get better. Landman and Spates. Landman played 62 snaps, Spates 45. Verse Byron Young played 57 and 54 snaps out of 63. That's quite a bit. That means Michael Hoyt's not in town. Josiah Stewart played 15 snaps, and of course he got the deflection. Nick Hampton, I thought, had 3 or 4, but last I saw it only said 1. Rams had a 5-man really a 4-man rotation on the defensive front. Turner, Fisk, Poona Ford, and Tyler Davis, who got the sack. Laurel Murchison came in for 3 snaps. No DeJuan Johnson, no Ty Hamilton. And again, statistically, it doesn't look like the Rams stopped the run, but they did. They did a really good job up until that last drive when Nick Chubb came alive. And I'm wondering if there was some fatigue there, at least on the edge guys a little bit, because that was a lot of snaps for both of them to play. And so I'm not worried about it. I thought the Rams looked really good. And 3 of those 9 points came when there was the bad snap. Who was the center? Oh, it was Coleman Shelton, who snapped the ball over Stafford's head, right? And think about how that could have been a bigger disaster. And that led to 3 points. So, you're talking about 6 points this defense gave up. And the other thing too, what you're seeing here, and I don't remember it as much the case, and I'll take correction. In the best years was Staley, what was it, 2020? And then that year we won the Super Bowl in 2021, the Royal we. The big plays, right? And big plays were last year, and we're getting big plays this year. Durant, Landman, what's his name? Fisk making the amazing recovery. You're seeing plays, seeing playmaking, not just to bend but don't break, but you're seeing playmakers. So this is exciting. This is what we posted last night. I posted it on LA Rams of Inglewood on Facebook. And then at 6 a.m. this morning when I did the Rams update, I had too many people around yesterday to get a RamView wrap-up for yesterday's game. So I did it at 6 a.m. That's why it's posted, already here on the channel. After beating Buffalo 44-42 December 8th last year, the Rams then beat Frisco 12-6 on that foggy Monday night. They beat the Jets 19-9 in that awkward game in New York. Then they beat the Cardinals in another awkward game at home that Akilla Witherspoon saved them 13-9. That's 3 games right there, only 24 points. The loss to Seattle in Week 18 doesn't matter because they weren't playing any starters anyway. Then in the next game that counted, they're playing the Vikings. Was it 9 sacks? They held the Vikings to 9 points, 27-9. And then the Philly game, they lost 28-22, but you can even break that one down. On the road, in the snow, eventual champions. And what was that? Long run by Jalen Hurts, right? And a couple of long runs by Saquon Barkley. And I don't even think Hurts threw for 100 yards in that game. But they're the champions, so give them credit. But then they come back and hold the opponents to 9. This is amazing. This defense is starting to look special, and I'm kind of excited about that. Let's see here. Steve Ramirez, I'd rest both Avila and Dotson versus Tennessee. Got to think of the overall. I'd rest one of them. I don't know if I'd rest both of them. I still got Stafford to consider. Tim Burns, Titans aren't a worry no matter who is missing on the line. They gave the Broncos a good game. Was that just poor play by the Broncos? Here's my thing. I just want to clean up what we should clean up, right? You don't want to give anything away. This was part of my problem this last couple of years. There were games early on, the Packer game last year. There were games the Rams just kind of give away. And it'd be nice if we're in that Week 18 mode of not playing starters by the time we get to Week 16 because we got such a lead in the division. I just want them to take care of business early, and I don't want to see anything happen. Forgotten locale. Darius Williams getting paid $8 million to be a reserve CB4, and it's his last year. We know it. He's in his 30s. I think part of him is happy to be along for the ride because no one else was going to pay him $8 million, and he's great depth. And they say he took it really well. I love it. I'm really excited about it, and And he's probably a great influence in the room, or the Rams wouldn't have brought him back. You know, you've got some undrafted free agents on the practice squad. You got Josh Wallace there. So he's probably a great influence because he was one of those guys, an undrafted free agent that somehow got away from the Ravens. How do you feel to be a Raven fan today? There you go. Let's see. USA expat. Looks like Tennessee lost their right offensive tackle for the Rams game. Oh, okay. Cool. I did not check that yet. ESG, Puka is so physical that the Rams send him to the blue tent just to make sure he's okay. Yeah, every play, right? Are you okay? Are you okay? You know, it is what it is. And I heard an interview, or I don't know where I was listening to. They said, is he going to change his style of play? You know, and I think I said something in the offseason. I said he needs to go to the Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce school of getting down. Remember how those guys would always go down before taking the hit? I don't think Nakua, again, I think he's Hines Ward. Tim Burns, Jarquez Hunter inactive, proved your point. If you can't protect Stafford, then you aren't playing. Good call. Thank you very much. I think you guys knew that too. I get a chance to say it because I got the microphone, but thank you for that, Mr. Burns. ESG, Young had me asking Micah who. Boy, why don't they just give Green Bay the Lombardi Trophy now, right? Have you noticed anything about the last basically, Green Bay, Green Bay. It's like, forget it, Green Bay. But it's like, really? Is it? Are we just handing the trophy? I'm waiting for Dennis Green to come out of his grave and say, if you want to crown him, right? We let him off the hook. Tim Burns, we can't keep rotating guys like Young off the roster after they make their bones. Got to keep a few of them to complement Verse and Fisk. I agree with you, but what scares me is you got teams out there that are going nowhere. Now we'll find out about the Packers, but up to this point, Micah Parsons has one playoff win, $47 million. TJ Watt is making over $40 million, no playoff wins. Myles Garrett one playoff win, and he's making $40 million. Look what they're giving these guys, and what's going to happen. It's going to be really interesting to see how this year progresses for Jared Verse. And I think the Rams are smart enough, and I think Ram fans, you guys are nuanced enough that Verse might not post 15 sacks, but he's a team guy, and he's going to get double teamed, and everyone else is going to eat. And you're going to have to say, this guy's one of the best players in the NFL defensively. How much do we pay Verse? That's what I'm afraid of. I want those guys to stay. But I'm a little concerned about Byron Young going forward. Manuel Vasquez, the defense defending the rush is noticeably better, and it's only going to get better. Yeah, like I said, you're right there, Manuel. I thought they were fine until that last drive. Then I got a little nervous. Let's see. Tim Burns, San Francisco. Steeler fan Rob has his quarterback now, so he is forbidden from saying Mason Rudolph's name for the rest of the season. My guess is Aaron Rodgers was juiced to go back to New York because they told him he wasn't good enough, and he played great. But does he have that in him for the next 17 weeks? I'm not buying. I'm not buying yet. I'm just not. And I think if I'm a Steeler fan, I'm more concerned with all the money I put in to that defense, all the money we're paying, and Cam Hayward's asking for more. All that money you put into the defense, and you gave up 32 points to the New York Jets. I'm sorry. At this point, yeah, Justin Fields had a nice game, but he's still not even Richard Todd. Heaven's Gate, the Hell's Flames. I think the Steelers, I'd be a little concerned. Steve Ramirez, best Rams D since 75 or 79? What do you think? You go 75 because Robertson and Merlin Olsen are still there? 79 was off the charts. Good call, though. Tim Burns, only one red zone for Houston, shows even mistakes didn't become touchdowns. Absolutely. They bailed people out left and right. They bailed Coleman Shelton out, right? As well as Colby Parkinson. Let's see. Witherspoon apparently is bulked up to 215 pounds, so maybe that'll help him hold up during the year. He was 215? I didn't even notice that. I'll have to take a look. Tim Burns, Ramsey still hits like a beast. That was a good hit. That was a really good hit. Tennessee, has two good defensive linemen that might cause problems. We'll have to spend some time with the Titans. Manuel Vasquez. Titans were ranked second in defense last year, but that was a little misleading. They gave up 27 points per game and were terrible against the run. We'll see. You know, it's going to be really interesting when some of the injury reports come out and see where everyone's at. I don't have a line yet on that game except the Rams winning. ESG, the Green Bay-Detroit game was more Detroit than Green Bay. Oh, did you think so? Was more Detroit playing poorly than Green Bay being great? Because, yeah, I didn't see it, but that's a good call. No one else is saying that. Tim Burns, Richard Todd. Steve Ramirez, 75 set record for least points allowed. Yeah, it's just that in 75, the Saints were bad, the Falcons were bad, and the 49ers were bad. They were all bad, right? Just throwing that out there. But we did beat the Steelers on a Sunday night or a Saturday night game. Go Ron Jaworski. Tim Burns, Russell Wilson is hearing footsteps already. Yeah, poor Russ, huh? Poor Russ. I feel bad. It is over, right? It is over. Okay, I've listed concerns. Coleman Shelton, Tutu Atwell. Not so much right now for Darius Williams, but it was interesting. He was on the field. And Terrence Ferguson, second round pick, top 50. That one is just a little bit like, hey, bro, is he going to be Gerald Everett, right? That's my thing, because Gerald Everett was the Rams' first pick under Snead, second rounder, had some really good moments catching the ball, but he was the guy that McVay drafted that they wanted, and Tyler Higbee was from the old regime, and they extended Tyler Higbee because Higbee had a better sense of things and how to block and take care of do the things they wanted him to do. Around the NFL and other places. Real quick, I'm Joe Terosian, sports writer for 21 years. Thank you for clicking on here. And I shouldn't run through this. Our sponsors, Kistler Law, thank you so much for your support. And if you do have an issue legally with your auto stuff, check out Kistler Law. I know it firsthand, but they support us, help me do this. You guys buy my books, and it keeps me employed in my day job. I pastor a small church in Burbank called Burbank Faith Nazarene, and you can find us right here on YouTube at Burbank Faith Virtual, burbankfaithvirtual.com, and Burbank Faith Virtual across social media. Let's see here. I'm not going to go through the Chargers, Raiders, and Fog City and the Seahawks until I'm going to go game by game here and talk about them. Thursday, Cowboys, Eagles, Eagles won 24-20. They collected it on CD, right? Collect on delivery. CD Lamb gave them that game. I went 12-3 in my picks. So I had the Eagles. I also had the Chargers over the Chiefs, the Bolts from Brazil, 27-21. Herbert was great. And when Quentin Johnson is catching passes, that's great. I just don't have any confidence with the Spanos mojo. And I like Harbaugh. I just don't know if they can sustain it. So I'm not all in on the Chargers. Buccaneers, the Falcons. I had the Bucks. Tampa Bay won 23-20. Igabuka, huh? Yeah, Igabuka was legit. Bengals at Browns. I had the Bengals. Cincy won 17-16, but I really wouldn't be encouraged, right? How much are they paying Burrow, Higgins, Chase? How much are they paying those guys? 17 points. I don't care if they got Myles Garrett, right? 17 points. Not good. Dolphins at Colts. I actually took the Dolphins because I said if they lose, it's going to be McDaniel Firewatch, and it is already McDaniel Firewatch. Colts hammered them 33-8. We talked about the Colts being a good team. They just didn't have a quarterback, and for at least 1 week, Daniel Jones proved to be the guy. So good for the Colts. But McDaniel, how long, right? He's not going to last the season. Does he make it to midseason? That's the question. Panthers at Jaguars. Jags 26-10. Jags are better, but are they better than to catch up with Houston? I don't know. And Travis Hunter, though, caught 6 passes. Good for him. And so we'll see how that plays out. Raiders at Patriots. I actually took the Patriots, and Vegas won 20-13. Geno was great. Ashton Genty. They did the job. Great for Pete Carroll. They won 20-13. Brock Bowers got a little banged up, but they say he should be okay. But that was a great win for the Raiders. A great win. That's one to take on the road. That's a big win for Pete Carroll. Cardinals and Saints. Arizona won 20-13. It was bothersome. Cardinals are a better team than that. And Saints are no good, and they only won by a touchdown. And Saints were in it late. Yeah, that's not a good start. That's not a good start for a team that has expectations. Steelers at Jets. I took the Steelers. Steelers won 34-32. Nothing to celebrate there. Again, think of all the money the Steelers are spending on their defense, and they gave up 32 points to the Jets. 32 points to the Jets. I don't think 34 points is sustainable going forward for their offense. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Giants at the Texans. DC 21-6. I had the Texans. Washington did what it needed to do. I don't think it was that spectacular, but they got the win. Titans and Broncos. I took the Broncos, but I honestly thought this would be a blowout. And that's what gives me some concern that the Titans played well on the road, that they were one possession away from being in this game and tying this game. Denver should have been better. I expected Denver to be better. 49ers at Seahawks. I took the Seahawks. Frisco won 17-13. But look what happened, right? Kittle's gone 3 to 5 weeks, estimation. Brock Purdy's got a shoulder and a toe that they're saying that Mac Jones might be playing next week, and that's week 1. And we haven't even gotten to McCaffrey, who had that tender calf this week, and the ancient one, Trent Williams. Unbelievable the things that are going on there in Fog City. Packers 27-13 over the Lions. Crown them, right? That's what everyone wants to do, crown the Packers. Ram game, we know how that turned out. And then last night was fantastic. That was a great game. I thought it was over. Let me ask you this. Did Josh Allen separate himself from Lamar Jackson? Did he separate himself? Because I know Lamar can run and I know Lamar is a gamer, but man, Allen made some throws that were un-McFrickin-believable, right? They were just unbelievable. Let's see here. Steve Ramirez, is Fields better than Al Woodall? Well, I thought Al Woodall was pretty good out of Duke. Maybe he's Pat Ryan. Pat Ryan out of Tennessee had a nice run there. Hey, let's see if we can name all the Jet backup quarterbacks, right? Brownie Nagel actually started the season once as the starting quarterback. Ken O'Brien, a little underrated, lead-footed, but I wonder if Ken O'Brien had gone someplace else. He had a better chance. I saw Matt Robinson play a great game once, and I was in love with Matt Robinson. Remember the Broncos made a big deal trading for Matt Robinson because they thought Craig Morton was washed in 79, and Robinson flamed out. But interesting. Let's see here. Tim Burns, Wilson kicked to the curb by 3 Super Bowl winning coaches. Should have told the Giants something. Yeah, I think so. And it sounds like Jameis Winston is the really popular one there in that locker room. I think Wilson was signed as insurance. Yeah, I think there was some of that, but I think Jackson Dart plays sooner rather than later. Tim Burns, I agree, Steve. Wilson is a bridged quarterback and doesn't know it. Yeah. Ram74, thank you for joining us. Hey, Joe, did you know Merlin Olsen is buried in the San Gabriel Cemetery? No, I did not know that. I always go cycling past there, and I had no idea. Someone on YouTube told me he was Merlin's neighbor in the 60s in Downey. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought Merlin Olsen lived in San Marino, to be honest with you. But, that's right next door to San Gabriel. Did not know that. Did not know. Dano, thanks for clicking on. Ram74, speaking of Olsen, he lived in Dwardy last, I believed. Oh, no, I did not know that either. Ram74, great name. Yeah, Olsen, there he goes. Olsen is buried in San Gabriel. Steve Ramirez confirms. Michael Negretti, Pastor Joe, the game isn't over until the fat lady sings. What did we talk? Oh, Monday or Sunday night. Yeah, I did. I thought it was over. Just watching Derrick Henry break off those runs. Talk about heaven and hell. This guy is just running everywhere, and then he gives up that critical fumble. What happened to the Ravens defense? I thought we were ready to crown the Ravens, right? In another week, if they have a bad loss, they're going to start saying they're not giving Lamar enough help. Let's see. Ravens should have gone for it. That was pretty close, though, because if they didn't make it, did you see some of the play calling on that drive? I thought I was kind of curious on some of those calls. Steve Ramirez, Ram74. Olsen died on March 11th, 2010 at City of Hope National Medical Center in Dwardy. Okay. All right. I knew it was around 2010. It was weird thinking all those guys are gone except for Rosie Greer. Tim Burns, Chargers are really scary, efficient. You know, I want to like the Chargers. I do. I just think there's bad Spanish mojo. It's like really nice house, nice neighborhood, but the house is haunted. Nah, I'm not going to live there, right? Let's see. Ram 74. I'm closer to San Marino too. It would be cool. There you go. Thomas Wilson. Thank you, Ram 74. Thomas Wilson. Rams are looking like a 13-plus win record. Well, if they could just keep cleaning up what they need to do. If the Cardinals can't get it together with – now, I heard Kyler Murray had the flu this past week, so you can maybe give him a pass. Everyone's praising Saleh right now. Everyone's praising Saleh, but I still don't know if the Seahawks have a better offense this year, right? I don't know. I don't know if Sam Darnold's an improvement on Geno Smith, right? I don't know that. I just don't. And then Cooper Kupp was their big other wide receiver, and I don't know. So with that said, and then the 49ers turning into a mash unit, that 13 win, I think we said, did we say here 11-6 low end, 13-4 high end? That 13-4 it's only week one, could look like a possibility. There we go. Tim Burns. Thank you, Tim. Every year it's Lamar needs help. Every year. Did you see DeAndre? Oh my gosh. DeAndre. Did you see DeAndre's catch in the end zone? That one-handed grab? Why is his name escaping me right now? Give me DeAndre's name, guys. DHP. I watched the game today. I noticed that Poona Ford is a great anchor in the middle, and Davis Allen had a good catch, but was mediocre at best. They say he really struggled in the blocking. That's what I heard. I didn't look it up. I don't always trust PFF, but just as what I was hearing in all the different talk shows I was listening to driving around. Let's see. Michael Negretti. Pastor Joe, did you see a stream earlier then and then now that's a punch out? Did you see a stream earlier and then now that's a punch out? Go Rams. We're talking about the peanut punch? I'm not sure on that one, Michael. Let me know. Steve Ramirez. Those 10 a.m. games against inferior opponents always scare me. I have 1970s PTSD. Yeah, I remember waking up late in 74 and the Rams losing to the Patriots. And that one was very upsetting. But that was the Patriots got off to a fast start with Chuck Fairbanks. But yeah, those games, I'll just let you guys know. I'm watching those games on delay. So no one contact me. I don't want to hear from any of you in the morning because I'm not going to start watching the game until 1 o'clock because you guys know that I work on Sunday. All right, we're at the 42-minute mark. I don't want to go too long today because
it was a stone group, my man.
Too much to watch there. But I was 12-3 in 2023. My first week, I was 9-7. Last year, I was horrible, 6-10. I'm 12-3 right now, so we'll see how that plays out. Let's see. On this day, 1971, September 8th, Rams signed Ken Geddes to the taxi squad. And by 73, he was the Rams starting left side linebacker for 3 years, never missing a game. Lost to the Seattle Seahawks in the expansion draft. The Rams were deep there. They were developing Rick Kay. They had Jim Youngblood. He played 3 years for Seattle and then retired. I heard Geddes was a really good teammate. On this day in 1985, Rams beat the Broncos 20-16 in Anaheim. Denver led 16-10 at half, but 10 fourth quarter points. A Lansford field goal, an 8-yard run by Charles White got the Rams the victory. White rushed for 83 yards. Barry Redden for 46. Let's see, Gary Green had a pick, and Vince Newsom had a sack. There we go. Let's see what else we got here. On this date in 2022, Les Snead signed a 4-year contract extension through 2026. Has he been extended yet? I don't know if he's been extended again. So there we go. On this tomorrow, September 9th, Rams released a corner in 1971. He was an undrafted free agent who played with the Falcons. Then he went to the Cardinals, signed with the Rams in 71, and they released him on September 9th, 1971. He re-signed with the Cardinals and then was traded to the Vikings. And he ended up playing for the Vikings for the next 10 years as a cornerback, 13 years in the league, played in 156 games, started 100 of them, picked off 34 passes, played in 12 postseason games, all three of the Vikings' 1970s Super Bowl losses. And he's the DB that Drew Pearson pushed off on illegally in the Cowboys-Vikings Hail Mary playoff game. Pearson isn't the last Dallas wide receiver to push off, by the way. This cornerback's name, Nate Wright. Nate Wright had a heck of a career. And then September 9th, 1992, the Rams released longtime middle-of-the-road toilet clogger Alvin Wright. And he had been a 4-year starter at nose tackle for the Rams. Alvin Wright passed away in 2018 at the age of 57. There we go. I think we got it. I think we got everything in. And yeah, all right. There we go. All right, guys. Let's see. Do you have any other questions here? Anything else come up? Let's see. Thomas Wilson, this is the deepest roster in my 60 years as a Rams fan. I'm not going to argue with you. I mean, even in the quarterback room, aren't we all confident about Stetson Bennett being the third guy and Jimmy G being the backup? I mean, I'm thinking in Everett's prime years, we were running Mark Herman and Mike Pagel out there in his prime years. God bless Jeff Kemp, but Jeff Kemp, he backing up Ferragamo, and even Ferragamo wasn't quite the same after coming back from Canada. Yeah, there just wasn't, right? There just wasn't anybody. We're signing Bob Lee off the street in 79. We're running, Jeff Rutledge out there. Bringing in Dante Pastorini in 81. Now, if you get back to 76, you've got a quarterback room that's kind of interesting with James Harris, Ron Jaworski, and Pat Hayden, who all had some amounts of success. I think Jaworski exceeded them all. And you felt pretty good with Hadel in 73 with James Harris. But Roman Gaber was Pete Beathard, Jerry Rome. And running backs were always deep. But yeah, this is a deep Rams squad. It's a really deep Rams squad. There you go. Let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. I'm sorry. I'm lost. Okay, there we go. Tim Burns. That means you, Steeler fan Rob. Radio silence. Tim Burns, we can't overlook the Titans like we did the Bears. I agree. Absolutely. Michael Negretti, Pastor Joe, what I meant to say is you did stream earlier this morning and now you're doing a night stream. Now that's a punch out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what I did this morning was because I planned to go on and just do a 10-minute broadcast. I won't be taking questions. And so, the people at LA Rams of Inglewood on Facebook were kind enough to make me a moderator because I post my stuff there. And so I just go there and I want to do like a 10-minute, 12-minute, just get everything off my chest and then come back the next day. But today or last night I couldn't because I had too many distractions. So I got on at 6 a.m. You'll notice I'm wearing the same shirt. So I got on about 6 a.m. and then I downloaded that and I loaded it up here on the channel. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Steve Ramirez, Nate Wright blocked the field goal in something. Was that Nate Wright or Nate Allen? I thought it was Nate Allen. Was it Nate Wright? Good call there, Steve, if it was. I always went around saying it was Nate Allen. Anyway, my images of Tom Dempsey trying to run down Bobby Bryant. So there you go. Okay, guys, I think we got it. I appreciate you guys. Please sure to hit like, hit subscribe, share with your friends, and spread the news. God bless. Take care. We will see you soon. Bye.